We came here to forget our pain, but the hotel remembered everything. The receptionist, a pale man with eyes too still to be ordinary, slid the brass key for room 9 across the counter without a word, though his gaze lingered on Anna a moment too long, as if he recognized her, as if he knew why they'd come. They brushed it off, telling themselves it was just exhaustion and a long drive talking. But when the door to room 9 clicked shut behind them, the world outside vanished. The wallpaper shimmered faintly, like a veil hiding something alive beneath. The bedspread smelled faintly of the cologne Mark used away years ago before their lives cracked apart. A soft knock came at the door, though no one was in the hallway. And in the mirror, Anna swore she saw her younger self, smiling at her the way she hadn't in years. Mark took her hand, and for a moment the room felt warmer, safer, but then the air grew cold, and whispers slipped from the walls, repeating words they had said to each other the night everything fell apart. Every fight, every lie, every goodbye. It wasn't just a hotel, it was an echo chamber of their love and their pain, playing everything back with cruel precision. And as they stood frozen, the lock on the door clicked on its own. They were not guests here. They were trapped, and the only way out was to face the past they had tried so hard to bury. But the past wasn't done with them yet, and the hotel was making sure of it. "Anna," he whispered, his voice low and urgent, "someone's been here." Before she could answer, the phone on the nightstand rang. Not their cell phones, a heavy, rotary hotel phone they hadn't noticed before. Mark picked it up slowly. "You came back," a woman's voice murmured, smooth but trembling with emotion. "This time, maybe you'll tell the truth." Mark's eyes darted to Anna, but she was pale, frozen. "Who is this?" he asked. The line went dead. The walls seemed to breathe, the faint floral wallpaper swelling and relaxing like a living lung. Anna took a step back and nearly tripped over a suitcase one they hadn't brought. She knelt and opened it. Inside were photographs, their photographs. Every trip, every smile, every kiss, every tear they'd shared. But the last stack of photos wasn't from their past, it was of tonight. Them stepping out of their car. Them walking into the lobby. Them opening the door to room 9. Anna dropped the pictures as the air thickened, the temperature sinking. Mark's reflection in the mirror moved a fraction slower than him, his eyes a shade darker. "We should go," Anna said, her voice trembling. The doorknob rattled, not from someone trying to enter, but as if it was locking itself deeper, sealing them in. The whispers in the walls grew louder now, layered voices repeating the same sentence over and over. "One of you has to tell the truth." "We came here to forget," Anna said softly, "but all I can see are the pieces of us scattered everywhere." Mark's jaw tightened. "You think it's easy for me? You think I don't replay that night every single day?" Their voices rose. From somewhere deep in the building, a faint knock echoed, followed by whispers so low they almost sounded like sighs. Anna froze. "Did you hear that?" Mark hesitated. Probably the wind. But when they opened the door, the hallway was still, empty, and impossibly long, as though it had stretched in the few minutes they'd been inside. That's when they saw her. Evelyn, the hotel manager, was standing at the far end, her hands folded neatly in front of her, her dark dress blending into the shadows. She spoke without moving closer. "Some wounds," she said, her voice smooth but laced with something unreadable. "This place heals. Others, it makes worse." Anna felt a chill crawl up her spine. What's that supposed to mean? Evelyn only tilted her head, a small, almost pitying smile forming before she turned and vanished into a side door. That night, the tension between Anna and Mark hung so heavy it felt alive. They lay in bed, backs to each other, until Anna stirred in the darkness. A sound of faint scratching was coming from the bathroom. She rose slowly, each step sinking into the carpet as though it resisted her. When she reached the doorway, she saw it. The mirror was fogged, though the air was cold, and scrawled across it, in jagged, dripping letters, were the words, "Leave before it's too late." "Mark!" she whispered, her voice breaking. No answer. From somewhere deep in the walls, a low hum began to rise, joined by faint murmurs, too many voices to count, speaking in overlapping fragments. "Tell her, tell her, tell her the truth." The whispers pressed in, circling her, filling the air like invisible hands. Anna's chest tightened. "What truth?" Evelyn's gaze shifted to Mark, still lying perfectly still on the bed. The one he brought here with him. Mark's eyes snapped open. He sat up slowly, his face unreadable, his hands trembling. "Anna," he said, his voice shaking, "there's something I never told you about the night we ended." The air in the room shifted. The curtains swelled, though the windows stayed shut. The door to the hallway slammed on its own, the lock clicking into place. "What are you talking about?" Anna demanded. Mark's eyes darted toward the mirror, then back to her. "I wasn't alone that night." The whispering stopped completely. The silence was so sudden it felt deafening. Evelyn stepped inside, her heels clicking softly against the floor. "This hotel feeds on unfinished stories," she said, almost like she was reciting something old. "Pain that festers, love that curdles. You came here to forget, but this place, it came here for the ending." Before Anna could react, the mirror's surface rippled like water. Faces began to appear, versions of her and Mark from years ago, laughing, kissing, fighting, breaking. But the last reflection wasn't of them at all. It was of a woman Anna had never seen, standing beside Mark in a dark street, holding his hand. Anna's stomach turned cold. "Who is she?" Mark opened his mouth, but the lights cut out again, and in the pitch black, the voices returned, chanting louder now, almost urgent. "Tell her, tell her, tell her." When the lights came back, Mark wasn't in the bed anymore. By morning, Anna's resolve was breaking. "I can't do this," she said, her voice raw. "Whatever we had, it's gone. This place is wrong." She reached for her bag, but Mark caught her hand. "Just one more night," he pleaded. "Let's try to fix us. No more running." Against her better judgment, she stayed. That night, something shifted. They sat on the bed, close for the first time in months, and the walls didn't whisper, they stayed quiet, as if holding their breath. The flicker of the lamp softened into a warm glow. They talked, not about the fights or the bitterness, but about the little things, how she always burned the toast, how he still remembered the exact shade of her favorite dress. The silence between them was no longer sharp, and when he leaned in, she didn't pull away. They kissed, and for a fleeting moment, it was as if the room wanted them to stay forever. But when Anna woke hours later, the other side of the bed was cold. She heard the bathroom door creak, and in the mirror above the dresser, she saw him mark only he wasn't alone. A woman stood with him, whispering something into his ear before fading like smoke. Her chest tightened as memory bled in. The unanswered calls, the night he'd sworn he was just working late. The realization hit like glass shattering. The room seemed to feel it too. The walls pulsed. The lights flared and dimmed violently, the whispers returning this time louder, more accusing. Mark emerged, eyes wide, already knowing what she'd seen. "Anna." But she stepped back, her heartbeat pounding in her ears, her voice a tremor of rage and hurt. That's when Evelyn appeared in the doorway, as if summoned by the breaking point. "Now you understand," she said quietly. "Room 9 isn't just a room. We call it the heartbreak room. It shows you the truth you've been avoiding about them and about yourself. Some couples leave healed, others, her gaze drifted to the shadows crawling along the walls. Never leave at all." "Anna, please," he said, his voice trembling. "I need you to hear me before this place." "This place isn't the problem, Mark," she cut in, her voice shaking with anger. "You are." The walls answered her with a groan, the wallpaper rippling as if something inside was trying to push through. The floor vibrated under their feet, and from somewhere deep in the building came the sound of a heartbeat, slow, deliberate, and far too loud to be human. Every beat seemed to pull the air between them, dragging memories into the open. Suddenly, she was standing in the pouring rain, watching him walk away from her the night they broke up. She could smell the wet asphalt, feel the ache in her chest as she called his name, and he didn't turn back. But then the memory twisted, he did turn back. Only in this version, the woman from the mirror was standing beside him, smiling as if she'd won. The vision snapped, and Anna was back in the room, shaking. "Why didn't you just tell me?" she demanded. Mark's lips parted, but the whispering in the walls rose to a fever pitch, drowning him out. Evelyn appeared again, her face pale, eyes deep and unreadable. She stepped between them, her presence somehow both comforting and menacing. "This is what the room does," she said. "It strips away the lies until all that's left is the truth. The question is, can you both live with it? Anna's gaze locked on Mark. Can you? Mark swallowed hard. I cheated, he said, the words spilling out like broken glass. It was one night. I hated myself for it. I thought if I buried it, if we moved on, maybe it wouldn't matter. But it does, and I'm sorry. God, Anna, I'm sorry. The whispers stopped. Completely. The silence was sharp, expectant. The light steadied for the first time since they'd arrived. Evelyn took a small step back, watching Anna like a judge awaiting a verdict. Anna felt her heart twisting in two directions, love pulling one way, betrayal the other. She took a breath. You don't get to decide when it stops mattering, she said, her voice steady now. You don't get to erase what you did just because it's easier for you. The heartbeat sound quickened. The shadows on the wall began to peel away, forming shapes, hands, faces, couples frozen in moments of grief and anger. Evelyn's voice dropped to a near whisper. Decide now. Heal or stay forever. Mark reached for her, but Anna stepped back toward the door. I choose to leave, she said. The lock clicked open on its own. The shadows recoiled, the lights blazed, and for a moment, it felt like the entire room sighed. Anna turned to go, but when she glanced back, Mark wasn't behind her. He was still standing in the center of the room, looking at her with an expression she couldn't read. The door began to close, and Evelyn's voice drifted after her, soft, almost mournful. Some make it out, some don't. At the bottom, beneath a stack of the old photographs, she found the paper's credit statements, overdue notices, legal letters, all in her name, all debt she had never made. Her stomach turned cold as she saw the final page, a signed transfer form, Mark's signature scrawled next to hers. He hadn't just betrayed her heart, he had been planning to leave her with the wreckage of his life. Evelyn appeared in the doorway without a sound, her eyes glinting like she had seen this 100 times before. The room is feeding, she said softly. It knows the truth now. The door slammed shut on its own, the lock spinning violently until it clicked into place. The air shifted, and suddenly Anna was no longer standing in the hotel. She was in the middle of the street on the night they broke up. Rain lashed against her skin, her hair clinging to her face. She was screaming his name as he turned away. Only now she could see the woman beside him clearly, whispering something into his ear. The scene looped, Mark leaving, her crying, the betrayal playing again and again, faster each time, the voices echoing off the walls. He left you. He left you. He left you. Anna stumbled backward, gasping for air, only to find herself back in the room. Mark was pounding on the door, his voice frantic. It won't open. Anna, help me. He yanked at the knob, kicked at the frame, but the door didn't budge. The heartbeat grew louder. The shadows in the corners stretched toward him like fingers. Evelyn's voice was barely above a whisper. This room survives on endings. Love that dies here feeds it for years. You can save him or let it claim him. Anna's breath was ragged. She saw flashes Mark laughing with her in the kitchen, holding her hand in the hospital when she was sick, then Mark lying, cheating, signing her life away. The warmth and the pain collided in her chest until she could barely tell them apart. Mark turned to her, desperation in his eyes. I'm sorry. I was stupid. I was scared. Just please don't leave me in here. The shadows were almost on him now, curling around his legs, rising toward his chest. Anna's throat tightened. She could forgive him, and maybe they'd both leave. Or she could let go, and Room 9 would have him forever. She stepped forward, the room holding its breath. Mark's hand reached for hers. Anna closed her eyes. The heartbeat stopped. She could feel Evelyn's presence behind her, silent but watchful, like the hotel itself was making sure she didn't turn back. The urge to glance over her shoulder was strong, but Anna forced her eyes forward. She wouldn't give Room 9 the satisfaction. When she reached the lobby, it was empty, no guests, no staff, no sound but the low hum of the old ceiling fan. The reception desk sat in the corner, polished and perfect, as if nothing dark had ever happened here. Except there, lying neatly on the counter, was a brass key to Room 9. Anna's chest tightened. The tag was cold to the touch, heavier than it should have been. She turned it over and froze. Carved into the back, faint but deep, was her name. Not printed, etched, as if it had always been there. She dropped the key, but it didn't hit the counter. It fell straight through the wood like it wasn't solid at all, vanishing without a sound. The lobby doors opened on their own, spilling pale daylight across the faded rug. Anna stepped outside, squinting into the gray sky. The hotel behind her looked smaller now, older, almost forgotten. She started walking toward her car, her hands trembling, her heart trying to settle into something like normal. But just as she reached for the driver's door, she saw her reflection in the window. Only it wasn't her. The woman staring back had her face, her eyes, but she was smiling. That same slow, knowing smile she'd seen in the mirror inside room 9. Anna blinked and the smile was gone. From behind her, carried on the wind, came Evelyn's voice, soft but clear. The room keeps a piece of everyone who leaves. Anna gripped the steering wheel so tight her knuckles went white. She didn't look back. Evelyn was waiting there, standing perfectly still, her dark silhouette framed against the pale morning sky. In her hands was a folded piece of paper. She held it out, her expression unreadable. "You chose to heal," she said softly. "The room is yours now. The room is yours now. It remembers what you survived, and it remembers who didn't." Anna's breath caught. She looked up to ask what it meant, but Evelyn was already gone, the gravel under her feet untouched. She turned toward her car, but something pulled at her, an invisible thread drawing her gaze back to the hotel. The sign above the entrance flickered faintly, the letters glowing in uneven pulses, like the beat of a slow heart. And there on the top floor, room 9's window glowed with a faint, golden light, too warm, too alive for this hour of morning. For a heartbeat, she thought she saw a shadow move behind the curtain. Tall, familiar, watching. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. The glow in the window brightened, just enough for her to know it wasn't the sun. Then, as quickly as it had come, it dimmed, leaving the glass black and empty. She stopped at a gas station an hour later, needing air, needing proof she was really free. For a moment, it was her, and then it wasn't. The smile was back. That slow, knowing, almost satisfied smile she had seen in the mirror her last night there. She blinked hard, and it was gone. Inside the store, the radio behind the counter crackled to life with static. Then a voice, soft, low, almost like a sigh. "We remember what you left behind. Anna." Her hand froze mid-reach for her coffee. The cashier didn't seem to hear it. She left quickly, her pulse hammering, the note from Evelyn still in her jacket pocket. She pulled it out in the car, staring at it again. The handwriting had changed. Now, beneath the original message, new words bled through the paper in fresh, wet ink. "You will be back." Her hand shook as she shoved the note into the glove compartment and started the car. The road stretched ahead, empty and endless, but in the rear-view mirror, a shape began to emerge in the distance. The hotel, room 9's glowing window. Only, she knew she had driven too far for it to be there. The glow didn't fade this time. It grew brighter, almost blinding, until she had to look away. And when she looked forward again, her stomach dropped. She was no longer on the open road. The car was parked in front of the hotel. Evelyn was standing by the doors, smiling faintly, as if she had been expecting her. "I told you," she said, her voice soft but carrying easily in the still air. "Some heartbreaks stay with you forever." The lobby doors swung open on their own, warm light spilling out into the gray morning. Room 9's key lay on the counter, waiting. Anna's tears blurred her vision as she stepped forward, unable to stop herself.